What do you hope for?
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 I hope to find strength in a time of weakness.
I hope to receive care in a time of need.
I hope for support for my family.
Comfort.
Compassion.
Hope.
Without hospice, I think the situation would have involved a lot of fear and panic. Death is not something you are trained to deal with. We don't have lessons or steps to know how to handle a death. It's a very emotional time, and hospice just stepped in and took care of everything for us. We are here today because this was my mother's favorite restaurant. We would always come and sit in this booth. This was her favorite seat, and she loved the loaded potato soup.
She was my wife. She was a mother to my son. She was a daughter. She was a sister. She was a friend.
This was his favorite place to come and sit. It's a really hard time. You don't realize how exhausted you are until it's all over and you're just devastated.
My husband, Patrick Leach, was killed in Iraq in a helicopter crash in December of 2004.
Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy?
One of the most landmark or meaningful things was the Big Sky Camp with the kids, giving them a chance to see that they were not the only children who had lost a parent was really important for them and me.
Come on.
What I was searching for was someone to tell me what I need to tell my son. I was really worried about what he needed to know at the time. He went to Rainy Rainbow, and after he came back from that, he said, I learned it's all right to cry. You know, I learned it's all right to say I miss my mother. So that really made a big difference in his life.
The men's bereavement group has helped me understand my emotions a lot. That it's all right to cry, it's all right to grieve, and it's all right to miss the one that's gone.
There's so much that each person has offered or did offer to our family, and they comfort us through that whole process.
I think the fact that they took care of contacting doctors for his medication, you know, he didn't have to go, we didn't have to physically take him. They could convey his feelings and his pains and, you know, whatever he needed, it was just a phone call away.
She did not want to die at home. It was just not her wishes that when we came back home to visit our father that we would remember her and her dying. She wanted us to remember her life, and so it was her choice to be in a hospice house. And at the hospice house in Monroe, we felt like we were in our own home. I mean, they set a bed up for us and fed us, checked on us constantly. Do you need anything?
They can guide you, they can help you, and show you the way to make this person's experience more comfortable and allow you to stay an integral part of their caring for them at the time. And it just means the world to us.
They were right there all through it, and then afterwards.
What do you hope for?
What do you hope for?
What do you hope for?
I hope to understand my journey.
Courage to face the next day.
I hope to honor our loved one. He worked with a small group in the beginning to get things started and was very supportive about Hospice House being built because it just seemed to be a natural progression for hospice to go in this direction.
I believe the hospice house with his name on it is kind of an extension to that, where he was there to help people and answer the questions as hospice did for us. So it's an extension of his desire to help those who felt they needed help.
We're both very supportive of the new hospice house that's coming.
Absolutely.
Just to know that people in York County can have that family or that support or even advice is just wonderful, because when you add anything negative like us having to travel 50 miles a day to Monroe to be with our loved one just made it harder. So just to have something locally is just going to be wonderful.
Look, this is their wedding. There's Papa JB.
After JB had passed away and we had our time with him, she just asked us to step out of the room, and she wanted to dress him in clean pajamas. And she did that. She combed his hair and she fixed his bed, and he looked so comfortable. And we were able to go in again and say our goodbyes. And that was very special to all of us. And I think that's a wonderful service that hospice does for the family. You see that person at peace before they leave you again. You see them in their bed, in their home. And like I said, he looked very peaceful. And it just made that a lot easier for us to know that he was that way before he left here.
To not have had hospice would have been unbearable for us. It would have taken the situation and made it much, much worse than what it was. It would have meant to not having him here in the home, not having her around people she loved.
It's just a place that you can go and kind of step back and get some perspective on things.
Judy and I felt like we were filling her wishes along with hospice help by being able to keep her at home.
Hospice allows this to happen. Without hospice, you wouldn't be able to do these things and have the level of care and be able to keep your sanity, because it's a very stressful time. And now you know you have someone to call on, someone to talk to, someone that can guide you on what you're doing, and it really means a lot to this community and the people that be able to have these services.
Had it not been for the continuing support of hospice, I know that it would have taken me a lot longer to recover my sanity.
Angels. I just felt like they were angels. And I do believe that we are sent angels to get us through difficult situations. And I feel like there's plenty of volunteers out there with hospice, as well as the nurses, the grief counselors. They're angels.
I feel like hospice was a wonderful help, and they were so understanding and caring. It made it easier to go through, but it was still a sad time.
At this point, I've come a long way.
I'll always miss her. I think of her every day.
I feel like he's with me. And he was such a positive person, and he loved life.
It's quite a void to fill.
He was just so loving to us and completely committed.
I think if you asked her, she would say that she was a mom first.
I think about the good times, you think about the fun we had, you think about your whole experience together in your life.
You know, I see the children growing up and going to school, and somehow we're going to get the homework done and, you know, get to all the activities we're going to do. And at this point, I feel like we're going to be long-term clients at hospice, and that's how we're going to do it.
What do you hope for?
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 Strength in a time of weakness.
Compassion when I need it most.
Understanding.
To honor a loved one.
Support.
I hope to find comfort for my loved one.
Care in our time of need.
Courage.
Hope for our future.
I hope to find hope
I hope to find hope.
To find hope.
Hope.
What do you hope for?